Back with you on Hittin Hard with John Chuckery and Locked On Sports Atlanta. Head over to youtube.com, find our page in the search browser, subscribe to our channel, leave us a comment. Of course, we are free and available on all of your favorite podcast platforms, Spotify, Odyssey. When you get there, leave us a 5-star review. And, of course, follow me on my personal Twitter page. That would be at JMCH316. We had this massive breaking news story that happened in the middle of the afternoon yesterday in the world of college football that turned out to be 100% true. When I first read the story, I thought that this was the most ridiculous thing that I heard. We got word yesterday that Southern Cal, USC, and UCLA by 2024 were going to head to the Big Ten. I said that right, to the Big Ten. Not the Big 12, not anything like that. Headed to the Big Ten. So I thought to myself, UCLA, Maryland, noon on a Saturday. Okay, that's only about 3,000 miles apart out of all of it. And then it kind of came to fruition, and Southern Cal announced last night, hey, in 2024, we in UCLA are headed to the Big Ten. Now, people are all up in arms. This geographically doesn't make sense and blah, blah, blah. And I understand and get all of that. But I'm here to tell you, folks, this is like what you're seeing right now in the world of collegiate football is everybody rearranging the chairs on the deck of the Titanic. Everybody wants to get a spot right now. We are moving to super conferences. And I've always believed this, and I've talked about this for a decade on the radio, and I host our college football show on the radio. I've talked about we're going to super conferences. Somebody's about to get eliminated. We're going to be at either a Power 3 or Power 4 amount of conferences when all is said and done. And 60, 80 teams are all that's going to compete for a national championship because it is the haves and the have-nots. Everybody's trying to find their spot. And this is the reality of where we're at with college football. What's most important to universities and to leagues is how much money can we get for our TV contracts. See, what a lot of you may not know is way back in the old days when I was growing up and watching college football, all of the TV contracts were run and negotiated by the NCAA. Conferences had to sue the NCAA, and this case did go all the way to the Supreme Court that said, wait a second, the NCAA cannot have a monopoly on TV contracts. And it opened the door for negotiations and led to the SEC network, the Big Ten network, the ACC network, and everything else. What teams like Texas and Oklahoma looked at is that's where the money is in the SEC. What teams like Southern Cal programs, I should say, really universities like Southern Cal and UCLA said is going to the Big Ten, who's about to announce a new deal, is where the money's at. They're going to where the money's at. It may not make sense geographically and all this, that, and the other. But here's what the Big Ten just did. They just added eyeballs from the number 2 media market in the nation. That's what they look at. That's what they care about. Do we get more money? Can we renegotiate? And how attractive is our TV package? Doesn't matter what USC and UCLA are or are not. Doesn't matter about their other sports. It's the TV contract for football. And I understand the idea that a lot of people aren't excited and don't like this idea. As a, kind of more of a purist, I think it's ridiculous to have Rutgers and UCLA kicking off from New Jersey at noon on a Saturday. But you know what? There's an old saying, money talks, BS walks. Now, we'll get to more of this in just a second, but I am here to tell you about our brand new sponsor, and this has really got me excited. Coffee AM, we welcome them in to the Locked On family. Look, this is a North Georgia coffee brewing company, online company, started in the mid-90s. And listen, I got to be honest with you. They sent us a sample pack. I'm a coffee junkie. If you know me, I don't go anywhere in the morning until I've had my coffee. I got to get it somehow. And my Keurig machine, I will tell you, I think that's the greatest invention of mankind in the last 20 years. Forget the iPhone, forget smartwatches, forget any of that kind of stuff. The greatest invention of the last 20, 25 years is single cup brewing Keurig machines in my book. I love this stuff. Coffee AM. I've been drinking it for the last few mornings out there. Listen, you go to their website. They have a whole ton of stuff. Go to coffeeam.com And I'm telling you, go look at the product line, whether you like lighter roast, darker roast, lighter mixes, heavier mixes, whatever. They've got K-Cups. They've got fresh ground. They have a whole line of teas that's available to you as well. I'm super excited about this Coffee AM, locally grown, locally, or I should say locally produced, here in the state of Georgia. It's up in North Georgia. It's up in the Canton area, which I know very, very well up there. It's a fantastic company. I'm loving the product. I want you to give it a shot. So here's what I've got for you, okay? Go to www.coffeeam.com/lockedon, LOCKEDON. You're going to get a coupon code for 15% off of all coffees, teas, gift sets. Use Locked On, LOCKEDON, coffeeam.com/locked on. And I'm telling you, this is the best small batch coffee roaster in America. They're in North Georgia. It's tremendous out there. Love the product. Love the selection. You're going to love it too. Give my friends at Coffee AM a try today. When we look at the world of college football today, and I know that there are purists, and even I said I'm one of those kinds of people. But remember, we don't get Nebraska and Oklahoma on Thanksgiving weekend anymore. Remember on Friday, Saturday after Thanksgiving, Oklahoma, Nebraska was the most important college football game played in the country? We don't get that anymore. And I understand people are upset about, the Big Ten and Pac-12. They always wanted, the Rose Bowl. And I understand. Look, remember when Georgia and Matt Stafford played Hawaii down in the Sugar Bowl and they finished as the number 2 team in America? Everybody was clamoring, why can't Georgia go play Southern Cal in the Rose Bowl? We got 2 of the top 3-4 teams in America that could play up. Nope. The Rose Bowl wanted Pac-12, Big Ten, and remember Juice Williams and Mendenhall and Aurelius Ben and the Ron Zook-led Illinois Illini, fighting Illini. They went out and played Southern Cal while Georgia had to play Hawaii and throttle them. We didn't get that matchup, but it's different now. And I tell people this all the time. You have to embrace change. You want players to get paid and all that? I'm with you. But schools and universities want to get paid too. And to be honest with you, the more money that those schools and universities pull in and bring in, the harder it is for them to leave the athletes out of getting their own money for it. Because how are you going to look a football player in the eye and say, yep, we're handing out $50, $60 million checks to every school in our conference, but we can't give you anything. Okay. Hey, listen, you know what? NIL, it's great. Let's go get all of that money. So you have to embrace the change in the world of college football today. It's not about tradition. And I know Herb Street had this rant for your love of the game. Miss me with all that. It's a business. And that's how everybody looks at it. It's a business. And if the universities and everything can get all of their money, it makes it easier for the players to go out there on the NIL market and get what they have coming to them. You're not going to be able to leave kids out when these schools are getting billions of dollars rolling into the coffers of these conferences. I understand. It's not fun. It makes it ridiculous to have Southern Cal travel to Maryland to play at 3:00 in the afternoon on a Saturday on ESPN, right? And somebody's, some lower tier group of announcers are calling the game or what have you. But this is where we're at. And everybody's trying to get a spot right now. There's talk about the Big Ten wants North Carolina, NC State. They want Notre Dame. The SEC may expand. You never know what Florida State or Miami is going to do. Other conferences, I should say, are going to come calling for big or Pac-12 schools. It's where we're at. And to me, the quicker we get this done and move this process along to just a handful of super conferences where it's 3-4 super conferences of 16, 18, 20 teams, and that's who competes for the national title. And oh, by the way, the other thing will be the NCAA as a governing body for football, hasta lasagna, don't get any on you, they'll be out of it as well. I know it's hard. I know it doesn't make geographic sense, but understand where we're at in the world of college football. It's about the TV and the markets and making money and pulling eyeballs in. It's not about the football. it's about bigger than that. And as we know here in the South, as my friend Tony Barnhart says all the time, college football in the South isn't a matter of life and death. It's a lot more important than that. All right, we want to thank you so much for being a part of Hittin Hard today with John Chuckery here on Locked On Sports Atlanta. Listen, I want everybody to have a great weekend, and we're going to be back on Tuesday. Of course, Monday is the 4th of July holiday, Independence Day. So take a moment, celebrate America, if you will. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. Reminding you, make Mark Zinno and A to Z your second listen every day. Mark is back talking all things Atlanta sports, opinions that you may not like at times, but you know you got to hear. He's free and available on our YouTube page, Locked On Sports Atlanta. Free and available on all your favorite podcast platforms, Spotify, Odyssey. Download us today. And then also give me a follow on my personal Twitter page at JMCH316. We thank you so much for being a part of the show. Have a great holiday weekend. We'll be back with you on Tuesday. This has been Hittin Hard with John Chuckery on Locked On Sports Atlanta.